The presidential decision on Portugal's citizenship law is either already made or hours away as you watch this. The law doubles the residency requirement from 5 years to 10. Whether it passed, was vetoed, or went back to the courts, your path to Portuguese citizenship changed this month. Before you search for the outcome, I want you to understand what each scenario actually means for your situation, because the answer is different depending on where you are in the process right now. That decision does not exist in isolation. April moved fast. The airports changed overnight with the EES rollout. AIMA extended document deadlines with a window that is still open but closing. And May has 3 hard deadlines that will catch people who are not paying attention. By the end, you will know exactly what happened in April and what you need to do before May catches you out. Let's go through it properly. Parliament approved the revised citizenship law on April 1st, with 151 votes in favor. The law extends the residency requirement for citizenship to 10 years for most non-EU nationals, 7 years for EU citizens and nationals from Portuguese-speaking countries, like Brazil, Angola, Cape Verde. The residency clock now starts from the date your first residence permit was issued, not the date you applied. That distinction matters enormously if your count was already running. That's frustrating, I know. The law was sent to the presidential residence on April 13th. President Antonio José Seguro had 8 days to refer it to the Constitutional Court for preventive review. That window closed on April 21st without action. He now has until approximately May 3rd to sign it or use a political veto. Here's what you need to understand about each outcome. If he signs it, the 10-year rule becomes law. There are no confirmed transitional protections for people already in process. The Constitutional Court's December ruling said existing applicants should be protected under the old rules. Parliament's April version does not include that protection. That conflict is unresolved, and it will likely end up back in the courts. If he vetoes it, the law returns to Parliament. Parliament can override a presidential veto with an absolute majority, which is 116 votes. They pass this with 151. A veto delays, but it does not stop. Seguro is a former Socialist Party member who has expressed opposition to the law. His position is not a guarantee of a veto, but it is worth understanding. Legal observers consider a veto possible, but not certain. Here's what you do right now, depending on where you are. If you are close to 5 years of legal residency and have not spoken to an immigration lawyer this week, that is the most expensive mistake you can make. I already explained that weeks ago here on YouTube and via email to those subscribed to weekly updates. Talk to your lawyer as soon as you can. If you are earlier in your process, permanent residency after 5 years is unchanged. Plan for that as your milestone. The citizenship clock is what moved, not the path to permanent residency. If you are just starting to map out the sequence of what to do and in what order, the free relocation checklist in the description is where to begin. It walks you through each step so you are not making decisions out of order. Download it before you do anything else. Link is in the description. On April 10th, the EES reached full mandatory deployment across all 29 Schengen countries. This is the biometric border system that replaces passport stamps with fingerprints and a facial scan for non-EU nationals on short stays. Portugal suspended the system at Lisbon, Porto, and Faro airports on the morning of April 11th due to excessive queues. Queues on the first day of full deployment reached up to 4 hours at major European airports before Portugal restarted operations that afternoon. 2 things you need to know. If you are a legal resident in Portugal with a valid residence permit, the EES does not apply to you on re-entry. Residence permit holders are exempt. That is a question I know is coming from a lot of you, so I want to be clear on it now. If you are traveling with an expired residence permit and relying on the AIMA administrative extension, stop. That extension is valid inside Portugal. The moment you cross into another Schengen country, you are presenting an expired document. Agents in Germany, France, and Spain are not required to honor a Portuguese government memo. I have seen reports because of this. Some people go to Spain by car and swear that it's fine. Yeah, it's fine until you get stopped there. So do not travel internationally on an expired document without confirming your status with a lawyer first. Before any international travel this summer, do one thing. Download the Travel to Europe app. It is free, it is official, and it lets you pre-register your biometric data up to 72 hours before arrival. It can cut your border processing time significantly, and this summer, the airports are going to be under pressure. The combination of a new system, summer volume, and staff still adjusting is not one you want to walk into unprepared. Do that before your next trip, not the morning of. If you are already in Portugal or planning this move and hitting a wall that a video cannot solve, there is a link in the description where you can tell me about your situation. If my team and I think we can help, I will reach out. The April 15th deadline for expired residence permits passed. But if your card expired before June 30th, 2025, AIMA extended renewal certificate validity by 60 days on April 2nd. That means the new effective deadline is mid-June. You are still inside the window, but it is closing. What you carry matters. 3 things together at all times: your expired residence card, your renewal certificate with the QR code, proof that you have initiated the renewal process. All 3, not one of them alone. Here's the part that does not get covered anywhere else. Banks, insurance companies, and landlords in Portugal are not required to automatically honor an AIMA administrative extension. Their systems often do not recognize it. I have personally seen accounts frozen, insurance applications rejected, and rental processes blocked because a staff member looked at an expired card and acted on what they saw. The government gave you the right. You have to fight for it to be respected at every desk you sit across. If a bank or private institution refuses to accept your documentation, ask to speak with a manager and reference the AIMA clarification directly. Put it in writing if you can. One update from April 24th that adds context to last month's strike coverage. The government announced 28 million euros in new funding for AIMA's cultural mediators through 2028, up from 20.5 million euros. It does not resolve the underlying labor dispute, but it signals movement. Processing speeds up by June depends on whether that money translates into resolved contracts. Watch this space in May. If you need vetted immigration contacts or lawyers who understand the current system across Portugal, my resource guide in the description has exactly that. Over 100 vetted services and contacts across over 15 different sections, updated regularly. Link is in the description. 3 things on your radar for May. All of them have hard deadlines. The IRS filing window runs until June 30th. If you were in Portugal for more than 183 days in 2025, you are a Portuguese tax resident and you are required to file. If you have foreign income, dividends, rent from a property back home, a salary paid into a foreign bank account, Annex J is the form you cannot skip. The most common and most expensive error is not filing it at all. Information sharing between global tax authorities and the Portuguese tax office is fast in 2026. If it exists and you did not declare it, they likely already know. Use May to get this done with a professional. Do not wait for June. May 1st is Labor Day. May 14th is Ascension Day, a national holiday. Both create extended bridge weekends where public services run on skeleton staff. If you have anything pending with AIMA, Finanças, or any public registry, get it moving in the first week of May before the first holiday shuts things down. The weeks between the 2 holidays are your most reliable window for getting anything official moving this month. The summer rental conversion has started. Landlords in Lisbon and Porto are already pulling properties from the long-term market and moving them to short-term tourist lets for summer. Supply is contracting now. If you are searching for a long-term rental right now and you find something that works for your budget and your situation, move on it. June will not be easier. It will be harder. April set up everything that follows. The citizenship decision lands this week. The EES is live. AIMA is still processing under pressure with slightly more funding and the same structural problems. May is the month to act on what you now know. If you got questions, send me an email. The video on your screen right now is what you need to watch next. Click now, and I'll see you there. Ciao.